Hi. So, we're going to talk about cross-dressing because why not? It's something that I used to do, and maybe it's something that you do. Maybe it's something that you enjoy doing and you have questions about it because it's confusing at times, right? If you're into cross-dressing, then you're probably thinking, is this just a fetish? Is this something that I do because it's exciting and I'm not allowed to do it and that's why I do it? Or is this something more? Is this something worth thinking about and worth exploring more? Are you trans? Are you a trans woman? Who are you, if that's the case? Right? These are the kind of frightening questions to ask because it kind of blows the door open to so many more possibilities that you may have not considered previously. Is this shoulders? I think this shoulder is supposed to be up like this. By the way, I'm wearing this because I'm talking about this topic. This is a dress that I would have worn. Look at my booty. Check out that booty. I would have worn something like this when I was cross-dressing. It was actually kind of like it's similar to the first dress that I bought when I was cross-dressing, and it gave me this sense of euphoria and happiness to it that made me go, is this just a thing? What's going on? So I'm going to talk a bit about my personal story, and maybe this will help tie into how you're processing and doing things, and I will give you some advice related to exploring and understanding more about whether or not you are trans or if you're just cross-dressing because it's a fetish thing. Okay? By the way, I'm Ashley Adamson, and I am the founder of the Trans Club, which is thetrans.club, and it's a community for trans folks, people who have already made that step and want to join the community. If you are questioning, it's very much a community for you, and something that we might be able to help you answer some of your questions with. So if you'd like, come join us and we'll talk to you. Please like and subscribe, by the way. So, so this video, I thought that I was just disgusting when I was thinking about cross-dressing. And I would put on something that was women's clothes and I'd get turned on and aroused by it, which was very confusing when I was young because I didn't consider myself to be, I don't know, a weird person. And it was strange and confusing to me to be aroused by putting on a dress or a pair of jeans. It didn't make sense to me. And I hid it from everyone around me and myself. Even my girlfriend that I'd been with for like over a year, I hid that from her until eventually I kind of had to realize that perhaps this is something that I need to take out of my own secrecy. I don't know where you are with your cross-dressing, but the first kind of secrecy is you tell no one, and no one knows about it, and you just wear these clothes and you keep absolute secrecy around it, right? That's probably the most frightening time, to be honest, because you are trying to hide something that you don't even understand completely, and that makes it very frightening, because when someone finds something out, then you have to admit something that you may not be ready to admit, right? And you may not be mentally prepared to grow into. So, yes, I get that. I went out, how do I put this? It's about taking steps to figure out and decoupling whether or not your cross-dressing is just a sexual fetish or if it's something that you want to grow more into in your gender. And I just spoke to someone lately who is in this kind of situation, and one of the key things that they said to me is they, in a non-sexual setting, may look at a woman and fantasize about being her, right? When you're fantasizing about being a woman in a non-sexual setting or imagining yourself in a non-sexual setting as a woman, that's a pretty clear indicator that it's well worth looking into whether or not you are a trans woman or not. Because if it was just a fetish, then why not just stay a woman only in the bedroom? And here's where denial kind of comes in. Denial can keep you in the bedroom. So for me, it kept it in the bedroom, or even just in my own privacy for the majority of my life, because I was in such heavy denial. Denial is a really powerful way of shutting yourself down. By preventing yourself from even contemplating the possibility, this is what denial is, you can avoid the truth. And what's even more frightening about denial is denial obstructs and removes your awareness of something by not having any emotions in it. Let me say this in another way. When you're feeling upset, when you're feeling angry, when you're feeling scared, you have a feeling. And you can feel that, and you can choose not to say anything, or you can choose to say something. And it's felt, it's expressed. People can see it in the space. If you are angry, right, don't you want to express that because you want to get that out of your system? If you're angry and you don't want to express that, don't you think people sometimes pick up on that and they can feel it? And you can feel it, right? You know, oh, I'm angry because I can feel it. Well, with denial, you can't feel it. Right? Like, that's the weirdest thing. With denial, it prevents the feeling from happening, from even occurring, because it's 2 steps ahead of you. So that way, you can just hide and commit to not even experiencing or living in this world that is really frightening to you. So you kind of need to start looking at indicators that are outside of denial, or putting yourself into positions that can get around denial, so you can start to find what's actually true. Now, with denial and cross-dressing and being a fetish and all of that, it's getting the cross-dressing outside of a sexual context and experimenting with that, which will help you answer some of your deeper questions about, are you trans or not? Because if you can get yourself out of that situation of, like, just for me, I would dress up and I'd maybe do something sexual with a guy, or I would just do something sexual with myself and I'd take photos and that would be great. But as soon as I got in a dress like this and I went out with some trans friends that I'd met through a trans Craigslist thing, that totally changed the situation, because I'm hanging out with people now and we're just being girls. And everyone's accepting of the fact that I'm non-passing in every sort of way, but I'm trying on the shape of being a woman. And maybe this is something worth exploring with you, is, do you have girlfriends or people that would be accepting of you to just try on the shape of being a woman, even if you may not look it, you may not speak it, you may not have all of the mannerisms and everything down, but you just want to feel what it would be like to be gendered as she, her, right? When you can disconnect this sexual aspect and reconnect with yourself in a different context, yourself may emerge that you don't normally talk to. The self of you that normally doesn't get a chance to be, gets a chance to be in a new clothes and a new setting, and you can watch and see how you feel when you do this. Another clear indication is happiness. If you're going out and doing this and trying on this different skin and you're happier doing it, that's a pretty clear sign. Yeah, so those are some important things. I think there's more important things, but we'll wrap this up. If you'd like to support me on Patreon, you can. I'd really appreciate that. And please like and subscribe and share this with anyone else you think it might be useful for. Leave me a comment down below and I'd love to hear from you. See you later. Bye.